What's up, you guys? I hope you guys are doing well. I have a question for you. Do you consider yourself to be a risk taker? Or would you say that you're pretty conservative and safe? Well, the reason I ask is, how many of you enjoy the thrill of blind buys? Yeah, I do too, but I do a little research before I do it. You know, I kind of have an idea of what type of scent profiles I like, but that doesn't always mean that they're successful. But today's video is about 3 blind buys that I do not regret buying whatsoever. I was tagged by Mike D over at Mike D Reviews. Make sure that you check him out. I'll leave the link to his channel down below. Well, let's go ahead and get this on. So as I was going through my collection looking for the 3 perfect blind buys, I have blind bought more than I thought I have, but these 3 really stood out to me. There's a lot others that I was really happy with, and yes, there has been those that I was not like super excited about, and some that I was really disappointed in. So let me know down in the comments, what are some of your biggest disappointments in blind buys, as well as ones that you were really happy about. Now, as I have been more strategic with my buying, I don't do them that often, but one of these fragrances I did relatively recently, but we'll get to that one. The first fragrance I want to share with you is from a line that I absolutely adore, and I think my affection for this line actually just kind of made it like, well, it's got to be good. It was a fragrance I thought would be like hard to obtain. It is Chanel ALLURE Homme Edition Blanche. Now, it's still listed as limited edition, but you can easily go to Chanel and still pick this fragrance up. Now, for those of you who are familiar with this fragrance, it's kind of like a love-hate relationship. I know there's a lot of people that hate this fragrance. I'm one of the ones that love this fragrance. Some people have compared it to Lemon Pledge. How they get Lemon Pledge out of this is beyond me. But Edition Blanche is a fresh citrus, aromatic fragrance that is just great. I love it. It just reminds me of summertime. I have some great memories attached to this, and I never really get tired of wearing it. As a matter of fact, it goes on pretty heavy rotation as it heats up. And while we're talking about that, can you believe that it is in the middle of May in North Carolina, and we had 38 degrees last night? 38 degrees. There was frost. Well, not like a heavy frost, but light frost on the ground this morning, and it is peaking 90 now. So maybe once it hits that 90, it'll stay that way. I'm not like super looking forward to it, but I wish it would just make up its mind. Because for me, Edition Blanche, I like it, but I really love it in the summertime. In the high heat, this is a great fragrance to wear in the high heat. Now, obviously, it has citruses in here, and lemon and bergamot are gonna be those citruses. But it also has a nice spiciness where you have a mixture of pink and black pepper, and you also have some sandalwood that's on the dry down. Now, another note that they have listed in this is leather. I don't really get the leather. Let's see, I've already got a little bit right here. I guess there is a slight little hint of leather, but when you think leather, especially like, you know, leather fragrances, and this is not categorized that. I've seen it say, you know, like warm and fresh and spicy and aromatic and citrusy and all that stuff, and, you know, woody or whatever. To me, it's mostly like a fresh, spicy, aromatic with a lemon note that I actually like, and I think that the lemon and the bergamot play very well, even though the lemon is a little bit more dominant. I guess it's like the alpha of the 2 notes. But for me, there is not a slouch in the ALLURE line. There are some that I just like more than others, but this is definitely in the top 2 or top 3 of the ALLURE line. Now, the next fragrance comes from a line that I'm not super crazy about. I'm not talking about the particular fragrance, but the line I like, but I'm just not like, oh my gosh, this is just so good. Those of you who know about CH Men Privé, they do have a few flankers, and some of them are okay, and there's one that just really stands out. It is CH Man Grand Touring Limited Edition. Now, Ashton from Gent Sense actually hit me up and he's like, hey dude, there's a couple of discontinued fragrances that they have at Fragrance by CA that you might want to peep. Now, one of them was one that I was familiar with, which is Issey Miyake Noir Ambra, and the other one is this bad boy right here. Now, Grand Touring was released in 2014 and it just completely flew by. You know, I think I might have seen it. You know, it is distinctive. It has a little blue line right here. But when I smelled it, I was like, dang, this fragrance is really good. Now, Catalina Herrera has some rather good fragrances, especially on their Confidential line. And, you know, like the 212, those are really good, but the CH Men are good, but not like overly good. Now, this one really impressed me. Now, this is warm, sweet, and spicy, and it also has a freshness about it, which is kind of a unique twist. You have a slight smokiness in this fragrance with some incense, and then you have some spice with some cinnamon and nutmeg. And then, of course, you have the note of suede, which is pretty much the standard in all of the CH Men fragrances. But it also has a nice wood in here that I don't see very often, is mahogany. It has mahogany wood in here, which is a nice balanced wood with a slight dark edge. I really enjoy that. The suede note in this and the nutmeg is a very nice twist. Now, in my opinion, as far as the CH Men line, this one is by far the best one that I've smelled. I think there's two others that I may not have smelled, but this one I felt was extremely worthy of a blind buy. I was like, well, if anything, you know, I can sell it if I don't like it, but there's not a chance. And considering that I bought it not that long ago, I have put a rather significant dent in it. Third and final, definitely last but not least, is a fragrance that I threw a ton of hype on last year just because it was so freaking amazing. I think that was part of the excitement. It was a blind buy, and I don't even think that I mentioned that in the video, but boy, what a surprise from Nishane, Ambra, Calabria or Calabria. I know I've heard it pronounced both ways. I've always said Calabria. If I am wrong, let me know down in the comments. Either way, this fragrance is, oh, such an accomplishment. I don't think I've ever said that before. There are certain fragrances and there's not many times that you can like put masterpiece on it. For me, I feel that this is a masterpiece. Now, this fragrance is fresh, spicy, aromatic, and I think it's a perfect fragrance to wear in the summertime, spring. It's green, it's fresh, it's got bergamot, and I would say the imaginary note of lemon, because it almost smells like there's lemon in here, but no, lemon is not a note. But this is a fantastic fragrance. It's got great performance, it's got great sillage, for me anyway, just in case, you know, some of you are like, no, I don't get all that, but we're just talking about my personal experience. And I know that some of you blind bought this fragrance just based off of my recommendation and came back and told me how much you loved it too. Now, as this thing dries down, you get a really nice vanilla in here. Like when you're thinking about like those fresh bergamot that has a lemony, zesty vibe, but you also have some coriander in here, which is a nice twist. You do actually pick up hints of that coriander spice in here. And then a very nice present but not overbearing note of jasmine in here, which is such a great note that I really am growing more and more fond of. I've always liked the note of jasmine, or at least smelling jasmine, but I'm starting to become very fond of them more and more in fragrances. And then on the dry down, you're going to get some amber, musk, and vanilla. Perfect fragrance, not overly complicated, but a masterpiece. There's not another fragrance out there that I'm aware of that smells this way, and it's been quite some time that I got that excited over a fragrance, especially one that I had never smelled before and was just going off like, those notes sound good. Now, of course, I always encourage people to sample before you buy. Don't take my word for it. Don't take other people's word for it, unless you're a risk taker. If you're a risk taker and you've enjoyed some blind buy purchases, let me know down in the comments what has been successful or maybe not so successful for you. I know that this was a tag video, so I'm just gonna leave this as an open tag to any channel that wants to do it. Hope you guys have fun with this. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you next time.